Bring on the Every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and this is the Eve Universe Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, guys? Welcome to another wonderful day where we have so much to talk about that I probably don't get around to Kato Ash in time for the show, but who knows? We'll see. We have a lot of stuff to cover. I have several news items that have happened in the last 10 days, as well as I made a list. So my clickbait of the day is 10 things I wish I knew about EVE Online before I started, for those starting in 2024. But before all of that, how you guys been, man? I am so happy to be back. The last 10 days was not planned. We got a ton of snow when we're not used to having snow here, and so not a ton, but enough that everything shuts down. And they're like, okay, Monday school's off, Tuesday late start, and then at 6:30 I get the call like Tuesday canceled, and then 6:30 Wednesday canceled, and then Thursday was canceled. So and then Friday was a nightmare because my son has not been to school but like 5 days in the last 2 months. So getting him to go to school on the last day was really hard. And then we were dealing with the fallout from that. So, but he's in school right now. And here I am. I'm so glad to see you guys. Let's get the non-Eve stuff out of the way. There is a new all-player raid promo in the Discord, thanks to Ty. And there's a new game, Pal World, that I really want to show you guys. I've been actually thinking about I want to do supporter streams, or at least more stuff for supporters. So I did talk in the supporters chat, trying to get ideas about what kind of things we were to do. But I was thinking about doing like a Pal World stream this week, either tomorrow or Wednesday. And I might make that, I might start doing supporter. I want to do at least one supporter only stream a month, just so we can have it a little bit more intimate and, have people on or like talk about stuff and maybe not even talk about EVE related stuff. But either way, I digress. Let me know if there's any. Nth Dimensional, I saw that you just came out with a new video. Holy shit. How's it going, dude? Wait a minute. Hey, if you want to hop on Discord for a second, we can chat for a second. But yeah, no, man. Tell me what's going on, dude. I saw you come out with a new video, but I haven't checked it out yet. Should I watch it? Should we watch it live? Nth Dimensional, to this day, people come to me, like, because I put out my Yeet exploration video, and I tell people, it's like, if you want to know more about exploration, go check out Nth Dimensional's videos. All right, hold on. I'm going to pop onto on-air channel. Are you in the... just hop on in. I get my mic on so that he can hear me too. Unless you're saying, sure, I should watch the video instead. So we have the director's letter to go into. We've got stuff about the founders access and changes to insurgency to cover today. And that's the important thing. There he is. Hey there. Hi. Hold on. I think I need to make. Now people can hear you.
Hello, world.
How's it going, dude?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. First of all, I gotta know what happened. Where'd you go?
Nothing. I've been around. I've been alive. No, I was just doing general life stuff. But like, I've still played EVE.
That's fair. But you're making you made a new video, right?
Yep, I'm back.
You are back, and it is. Hold on, let me go look. Secrets of EVE Online: Hidden Features of EVE Online, Episode 1.
That's right.
Should we play it, or?
I mean, sure, yeah, if you want.
Is? Okay.
So it is. You can watch the video, but it's essentially it's going to be a series of weird things about Eve, mechanics. That is not like lore stuff, so don't worry too much.
Yeah.
Just stuff that like they never teach you or tell you about anything, and things that are useful.
That's funny because like I said, I just literally wrote up my 10 things they don't tell you, or I wish I knew about EVE Online. We'll see if you cover any of that stuff.
Oh, ho.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see.
But yeah, I got a notification that you were streaming, and I'm like, oh, I should watch Ash's stream.
Absolutely. Thank you.
How's the YouTube life going?
It's going really good, man. I actually, no one has complained about me switching over to YouTube, and everybody's been really happy about it. Especially since like Twitch has not improved their situation since I've left either. So I don't feel.
There are some cool new stuff on Twitch, though. I will say, it is a little easier.
The only big thing I miss is a lot of video games have Twitch integration that don't have anything here.
That's fair, yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to start your video. All right.
Okay, I'll just.
You can watch yourself watching yourself, or you can watch yourself and.
Greetings, Capsuleers. Welcome back to the Nth Dimension, your go-to hub for all things EVE Online related. I'm your host, Nth, and I'm thrilled to announce a brand new series that's going to take your EVE career to the next level. And yes, you heard that right, this is just the beginning. In this brand new series, we're going to be uncovering the hidden gems, sharing advanced strategies, and exploring the depths of New Eden like never before. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or a fresh-faced new bro, there's always something new to discover on EVE Online. Let's go ahead and hop right into it with number 1. So the first trick here involves the fitting window. What can we do with the fitting window? Well, let's go ahead and see. We open it up, we go to simulate. Yes, most people know that you can click on modules to make them go overheated, offline, online. But the trick here is that you can hold down the shift key and actually go in reverse order. So right now it's just online. You can offline it and then overheat it. This is useful because a lot of times you'll have modules that will start online, such as your micro warp drive, and you want to see if you're stable or not without it on. So you can just quickly hit shift and click, and then it goes offline or online but not active. And so yeah, it's quite handy. There you go. And as a little bonus tip number 1 is there are these little circles above each of your mid slots, low slots, and high slots. And if you click and hold on them, you can do some pretty interesting things. You can online everything, activate everything, or overheat everything.
I was just about to add the radial thing, but
you can also offline unload ammo and unfit modules. So like say a lot of times
I'm curious how many of these you know.
Hard to unfit all these charges. You can easily just come
so
over
far
here
I've got
and
it.
just do unload ammo. There you go, easy peasy. And now let's get on to number 2. For this second trick, we're gonna actually have to undock our ship, because this is a little trick that you can do in space. So here we are in Jita. That's a fine trade hub. Any area in space will work, because this involves targeting people. So let's go ahead and target everyone here. What a lovely selection there is. And this trick is, how do you untarget someone? A lot of people will right click and untarget, unlock target, but you can hold down shift and control and then click on any of these targets.
Yeah, I like this tip. I go over this tip, especially when I'm doing like hacking stuff, like during the events
Very useful.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Going
it is a little
cans.
finicky, like if you do unlock a lot. multiple, you kind of like have to time it right. And then a bonus tip for here. Wow, I'm giving a lot of bonus tips, but you know, first episode, you get extra. So the bonus tip is that you see your little anchoring window, your target list anchor. If you right click this, then there's the option to unlock all targets. So that can be handy if you just need
Okay. I didn't know that about the anchor one. You got me there. I didn't know that anchor had an unlock all targets button. Good job. Well done.
I'm gonna give. Oh, go ahead.
What? I was just about to say, it's crazy how many people don't even know that anchor button is even there. Like the number of people that ask me, how do you move things around? I'm like, you just click on dragging on the anchor, and they're like, what? I'm like, the little.
It's hidden if you don't know what's there.
Yeah.
A third locking tip is that you can actually bind a keybind to unlock all targets.
Yeah. Oki just said that in chat too. That's true.
Nice.
And that's particularly good for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason why is, or that I can think of, is like, so combat with players gives you a timer that makes it so you cannot tether, but combat with NPCs does not. So if you ever find yourself having to fight NPCs on a structure, like say during Triglavian invasions or something like that, what you can do is you can lock them, but if you're taking too much fire, you can just delock everything, which forces you into tether and forces them to all delock you too, and you stop taking damage and the tether repairs you.
That's neat.
Yeah, the caveat to that is obviously not with a Marauder, not with a command ship. You know, if you give yourself a combat timer, then you're still screwed. But yes. All right, let's keep going.
Need to get rid of everything really quickly. All right, there's number 2. Let's go on to number 3.
Also, I like, so radial menu down locks a target, but if the target's already locked, radial menu down will unlock a target. And I sometimes do that because it feels more reliable than the hotkey version sometimes.
Interesting. Like, I knew that, but I never used it to unlock a target.
And I confess the fact that, like, it might be more consistent for me because it slows you down just enough that makes it so that, because really what makes it inconsistent with the hotkey is that you're like stepping on it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this next trick involves destinations and waypoints and how to make them easier than you might normally do. So first, let's go ahead and head to our map using F10. And then what we're going to do here is that if we want to set a destination, we can hold down the control key and say we want to go to somewhere in Metropolis, right? We want to go to Erigro. If you hold down control and click there, it will make
Okay, I didn't know that either.
And that will be set as your
Got
destination.
him.
I fucking did. That is that is
just start
legitimately
adding
useful.
waypoints to this
That has changed my
destination.
life.
Let's say after that you want to go to
Yeah, when I'm like
Uzier,
exploring,
right?
I
So
always
fine,
use this.
lovely place. Shout out to Uzier. You hold down Control and Shift key, and then just left click Uzier, and that will make a waypoint after your destination. So it's gonna be quite handy. If
I gotta
you're,
take a call.
like patrolling around,
Alright.
you want to hit this system, or if you're doing a bunch of trade routes, you can hit all your different trade hubs that you want pretty easily. But yeah, I just find it's quite handy, and it's a little secret tech. If you're enjoying this kind of content, let me know by smashing that like and subscribe button. That way you stay up to date on all
I'm
the
already
freshest
subscribed
new
and
tips
I
and
liked.
tricks. And with that, let's go
Everybody
ahead
else,
and go
I
on
posted
to
the link.
number 4.
Make sure to go in
This
there and
here's
like
another
this,
technique
like the channel.
that you need to
or
be
like...
out.
So I need everybody to go there, like the video, and then at least like play it the full way through while muted or whatever, or at low volume, so that way he gets the credit for you watching it. You know, this is true about all YouTubers, right? If you really enjoy a YouTuber's content, you want to help them out, like just watching the rest of their video all the way through is really helpful. If people cut out like in the first 10 seconds or 20 seconds or a minute or whatever, that's bad for us. So I also like the stream. No, but yeah, make sure to give him plenty of love too, and subscribe to his channel if he's back. This guy is honestly probably one of the best tips and tricks EVE Online YouTube channel there is. Like one of my favorites that he taught me was the idea of using the filters when probing in order to like have it automatically clear away things that you aren't looking for, right? So if you're looking only for data and relic, then you filter out everything else. Then as soon as it gets to probe level enough that it knows it's not data or relic, it just clears it off from you. Don't forget that you've done this. Otherwise, you're going to be really like driving, like thinking that you're going crazy with all of your signatures disappearing while you're trying to scan it. But, you know, no, I haven't covered anything yet.
Sign in space 4. And this is going to help you know and
I'm back.
select
I heard all
the
the
right
nice things
ammo
you said.
type for just the job.
Excellent.
So we're going to go ahead and try and reload our ammo by right-clicking our module. And here you'll notice there's all of your ammo choices, and they have these symbols, and they're ordered in a certain way, and you're like, what is that? What is that order? Well, I'm here to tell you that the symbols, first of all, the first column will be its primary damage typing, and then the secondary column will be its secondary damage typing. So if it does more EM than explosive, then it'll show EM and then explosive. It will not show any tritary damage types. So like this Republic Fleet EMP also does a small amount of kinetic damage, but it's not going to worry about that. It's not going to show it. Don't worry about that too much either.
So a really good example of this, he'll probably point it out now that I've paused it to point it out. But like if you look at the very top, the topmost one, yeah. Well, you might not be able to see it, but the topmost one goes kinetic explosive, and then the next one down goes explosive kinetic, right? They both do explosive and kinetic damage, but one does more kinetic than explosive, and the other does more explosive than kinetic.
And then, how is it ordered? Well, I'll tell you how it's ordered. By range. That's right. This top one is the furthest range ammo typing, and this bottom one is the closest range ammo typing. So here, you can kind of decide, if you know your ranges a little bit at least, you can say, oh, I'm at a really close target.
So I need to do a little more
research
research into this. In almost all situations, it'll work out correctly. But I was in a ship, in like a blaster ship, and for some reason it was wrong. And I don't know why.
Submit a bug report.
Right? But like, why? Maybe it's ordering it on some weird other thing.
Well, so that's a good question. But no, one thing that maybe people don't realize that this is in the grand scheme of things, a relatively new change, right? This is in the last like 4 or 5 years, I think it was, that they actually made it so that orders. Well, I was being conservative.
Okay.
The last 3 to 4 years has been such a blur that like I kind of just tack on extra time.
Fair, yeah.
But any rate, so yeah, this order, I think it was done like 2019 or whatever. But yeah, it's very possible that like just there was an assumption in it that was wrong, and a bug report would help. Maybe it's based on the ammo based off the weapon use. No, because like, so ammo has a value, which is how much it changes your range, and it's based on that, right? So the largest percent bonus goes at the top, and the largest am I right? Yeah. And then the largest range penalty goes at the bottom. Also, since we're talking about this, hold on. Give me a second.
I also don't offhand know what like the secondary ordering would be. Like if the ammo type has the same range modifier, then like what does it do? Is it like probably tracking modifier, but and then what?
I don't know. CCP, who is it that does the little things? Is it Karker? I think it's Karker, right? CCP Karker? Either way. You know, the Little Things project. That's who made that change, so.
Yeah.
So in my in the Notion, which is hold on. That doesn't seem right. Hold on. Publish. There it is. View site. Got it. All right. In convocation.notion.site, if you go there and you get to the main page, you can go to Tools and Resources, Infographics, and then you can find Energy Crystal Overview, projectile ammunition overview, and hybrid ammunition overview. I can't remember. I think there was something wrong in these. The subtle one that somebody pointed out to me at one point, and I think that I had talked to RoAch, and I don't think that he's gotten around to making a new one yet. I haven't gotten around to making a new one yet. But in the meantime, these are really, really useful. I reference these all the time for knowing the ammunition differences and stuff. And then also, you can this is also pretty cool because it shows you the expected range profiles of the different destroyers. At least the older ones. Yeah. All right. Either way, back to the video.
The Republic Fleet EMP, or I'm really close to him, but I need to do thermal damage.
Yes,
and I'm going to use this phase plasma, and it just makes selecting your ammo type a little bit easier, especially if you don't already know everything by heart. So that's a very nice, useful one. Anyways, now
I like how you chuckle when you say if you don't know everything by heart. You know, like like me. You know, like that's the unspoken part. I'm just kidding.
Now on.
I don't know everything. I know a lot, but not everything.
For this
and
final
memorizing
tip and
things,
trick,
oof, hard.
we're gonna go ahead and.
You know, that's one of the things I learned in programming. It's like we value memorization so much, but really, the best are the people that reference it like every single time, right? Like, double check, man. That's how you get bad assumptions. It's just assuming that you remember everything.
Be inside again. This one is a little organization trick for you. It's a little workflow that can be nice. So say you're in system, you have all your boxes right, and you have a bunch of unopened boxes, right, that you're just hanging around. Normally they like to clog up space in the item hanger, but I don't like them there at all. If you try and move them to inside a box, you'll get this message that you cannot place a plank generator container within another plank generator container. So this is basically anything that like stores stuff, so it's going to be mobile depots or MTUs or boxes, anything like that. You're going to get that error message. And how do you deal with it? It's annoying if they're just sitting in your item hanger. So the way I deal with it is by using a ship. That's right, a ship. So here we got this quote-unquote rolling sigil. Let's go ahead and change its name for organization purposes. We're going to call this box holder. Yes, box holder. Very nice. And now we can move all of these boxes in to box holder. Just like that. And now you have your very own extra special box holder box. So you can get those out of your item hanger.
So I don't like your last one, and only because I feel like there's a better solution. Rather than putting all of your boxes into the box holder ship, I just make a filter that filters out containers.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the added advantage of making it so that when you select all and repackage, I just keep that filter on all the time. So that way when I select all and repackage, it doesn't collapse all of your containers.
I do like that.
Yeah. I talk about that in my managing and growing wealth in EVE Online video or whatever. I have a video about the like market and inventory and all that kind of stuff.
So
but yeah,
that's all we got for today. Hopefully you found this interesting and learned something new. Go ahead and put down in the comments what your favorite secret tech was. And also, if you have some secret tech of your own, let me know, and I just might feature it in another episode. But until then, fly interestingly and have a great day. Bye.
How'd you get a transcript?
I have a transcript?
You have a transcript? Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It says show transcript, and it says yeah, it's your entire, everything you say. You apparently speak very clearly.
All right.
Awesome. Well, yeah, great. So this was put out 2 days ago. When's episode 2?
Probably sometime next week.
And you're going to go with 5 things each time? How long?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of things to cover, huh?
I'll give you a little secret info, a little sneak.
Okay. I would forget about those containers that way, huh? Well,
I have
yes.
currently 33 bullet points of things I can use.
Fair enough. That's a good start. Hey, Punch Boom. Thank you so much for that $27.50 super chat. Quality of life booster, 100 prism shards and race shadow legends. Thank you so much, Punch. All right, and thank you, Nth. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. Also, let's go look at the rest of your channel. You've always been like one of the EVE Online YouTubers that have been like a real boy YouTuber level quality stuff, which is good.
Yeah, I try.
People like me, I just put on my camera and like talk for 2 hours and hope that's what works. So you've been playing EVE. Wait, hold on. What is Zero to Hero episode 1? Oh,
Pokemon.
Ash learned from and taught Nth something.
Okay.
Here's a little quality of life booster, approximately 100 prism shards in RSL.
There it
You
is.
decide. Welcome back, sir.
Okay. Have you tried Pal World yet?
I have not,
Yeah.
and I will wait to play it.
Fair enough.
That said, it's not Pokemon at all. They're completely separate. In visuals, there are some similarities, but they're totally different games.
I got to catch them all, though. No. So, about EVE, though. You've been playing EVE for the last year. What do you think about everything that's been happening, man? Because, like, there's been a lot of stuff Explorer that I would have thought that you would have, like, keyed in on. Like, the gate traveling, or the gate finding event, the Zarzak insurgencies.
Yeah. I thought Zarzak was pretty fun and pretty cool. They kind of fumbled it, like they do most everything. But it could be cool still.
Yeah.
I'm in the Angel faction warfare.
Sweet.
So
yeah.
sometimes
Same.
I'll do that.
Samesies. Are you? So like, one of the other things, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, is that like the change to events. There's only the 2 events now, or 2 or 3 events. Sorry, 3 events now. It's done by a different team, so it's very kind of maintenance mode. But at the same time, we now have these new live, like story-driven events, like the Shadow War and the Epiphany, I think it was, which was the gate finding event. What do you think about all that?
I think it's probably a better direction to go. It's nice to have those kind of standard maintenance mode events for like holidays and whatnot, but we do need more than that, right? And so if we need to cut back on the maintenance mode events in order to get these interesting one-off things, then that's fine.
Yeah, and I've gotten the impression that it's more because. So last year they tried. We can talk. I'm probably going to talk about this when I get to it in the developer letter. But I think
right.
that
I came here to watch a development letter, and now look at what you've done.
Okay, well, you know what? Then I'll let you go, and I'll just jump back unless you want to.
Oh, no,
unless you
no,
want to hang out.
Yeah, we can hang out if you
Sure,
got questions.
fucking.
Yeah.
Let's just do the director's letter, right? Right. Okay, great. So let's do this. Legally distinct Pokemon. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to have any legal problems at all. I mean, like, they previewed it 2 years ago. If there were going to be problems, then they would have already had problems. And there's pretty... I mean, they don't have... Like, Pokemon doesn't have a monopoly on cutesy plant/animal hybrid monsters, right? Like, that's not... Nor do they have the idea of, like, capturing them in balls or any of that kind of stuff. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about EVE Online. This is the EVE Universe show. Forward-looking Capsuleers. As we warp into the new year, we want to thank you, our community, for a monumental 2023 and cast our eyes forward, filled with the immense anticipation and excitement for what lies ahead in EVE Online. The 20th anniversary year was an epic one, with a record-breaking FanFest, 2 expansions, and the EVE Vanguard First Strike event, and much more. The end-of-year episode of EVE Pulse captured some of the highlights of the notable Capsuleer achievements. It is worth noting, like, it should be commendable that, like, this is what they said they were going to do, and they did it all, right? This might be the first time that CCP has put out some form of roadmap and then actually did it all in the amount of time that they said they were going to do it.
Shocking.
I can't, obviously, like, some of it's cut back, some of it's, you know, whatever, like, but like, yeah, they did it. That's pretty good. That's pretty, noteworthy.
Well, I have a question for you, because I feel like I'm drinking some crazy juice.
Okay.
But, like, during FanFest time and, like, pre-Vanguard, like, First Strike stuff, did they not say or kind of imply that it was more finished than the First Strike that we got?
Man, so I talked about that. So it wasn't at FanFest. FanFest made it sound like it was pretty far out because they're like, oh, we want to get you as the earliest as possible. What it was all of the materials for Havoc. All of their, like, copy press or whatever you want to call it for Havoc referred to this as, you know, and Vanguard is coming in Havoc, right?
Yeah,
not
'cause, like,
the very first playtest of the one map that they have.
By the time that we get a full fleshed out Vanguard, like, the Havoc expansion is going to be long gone, right? We're going to be on the next expansion.
Right, exactly. And I was commenting about that too because it was like it was very deceptive because, like, at first I was on boat with, like, no, man, like, Vanguard's like at least a year or two out still, all this sort of stuff. But when the Havoc stuff first started, the phrasing of it made it like, why would you say that? You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Oh, wait, hold on. Eve Havoc. Feature tour. Yeah. No. Hey, dog, I hear you like Eve videos, so here's an Eve video before your Eve video. Okay, so Empires and Chaos. Align with Pirates. Zarzak. Interstellar Shipcaster for the Pirates. All this is tracks. Warzone on the space and on land. Pirates versus Empires insurgencies from forward operating bases. So far, kind of good. Mentioned Vanguard a little bit with the on land thing. But Vanguard did impact insurgency, so we're going to give it a good pass. Suppress criminal activity as Empire Militia. That's there. Win the race and earn loyalty points. EVE Vanguard, new FPS module for EVE Online, is just listed alongside all of the Havoc stuff. It's like insurgencies are out and the new FPS module for EVE Online. That right there. That's what, like, yes, no, you were not taking crazy pills. With no new map until June. It's really weird. So here's, actually, no, we're going to talk about that when we get to that dev blog. We're going to keep going. Since working on the expansion in 2022, we've been seeing remarkable engagement and excitement for the community. The Uprising, Viridian, and Havoc expansions empowered Capsuleers to impact the universe in different ways and laid a robust foundation for to build on this year. We have made New Eden more vibrant with life and bustling with activity, as evidenced by amazing player stories, increased numbers of players in space, and boots on the ground. You know, if you're going to make claims like that, it would have been really nice for them to, like, show a couple charts or something like that that kind of, like, demonstrates increased number of players in space.
Yeah, but there have been increased numbers of players in space.
Correct, but I mean, like, I don't know. Being the guy that always has to argue with the Reddit dudes, like, it would have been nice. The more evidence of this I can get, the better.
The receipts are good.
Yeah, exactly. Last FanFest, we talked about our product themes and how we might guide our efforts in enhancing your EVE experience. Strong organization. Okay, so this is important because these are the pillars in which everything is being built, right? So when we look at all of the expansions that have been coming out and what kind of things are coming out, you're going to see that there's going to 4 different kinds of things that are all coming out side by side with each other, because these are the 4 major tracks of development within within the EVE Online development teams. So strong organization are the lifeblood of New Eden, where recruits are trained and plans for world dominations are formed. Recently, we focused on strengthening this theme by bolstering the air onboarding experience, creating capable and confident capsuleers through the air career program and opportunities, while adding meaningful and fostering belonging through contribution to corporation projects. I can tell you this right now, without saying much, I can say that CCP is strongly interested in continuing to iterate on this on some pretty exciting ways. The future of war keeps evolving and changing, and as ever, innovation is the key. Recent changes to Frontline Advantage and the addition of corruption and suppression provide new opportunities to impact the universe, creating more meaningful situations and exciting gameplay. One of the interesting things that's note here is that, unlike a lot of other features, there was something that was interesting when they discussed all of this corruption and suppression thing, which is the fact that they said that every system has a corruption and suppression value. It's just right now, the only systems that can be modified are the ones involved in insurgencies. So how these stats can be modified over time and what these stats do when they modify is something that is baked into and they can expand on. So these are kind of like building blocks for them to experiment with. Corruption doesn't always have to mean what it does, just like corruption doesn't mean the same thing in low sec versus high sec, you know? So it'll be interesting to see that. Show your work, Ashtarothi. Yeah, exactly. Identity and agency is a new and important theme for us. Tough choices and worlds impact players have freedom to pursue their dreams and forge their identity. The past 3 expansions for EVE has empowered player creativity through visual expression and supported individual playstyles by deregulating currency and incentivizing diverse ways to earn money. I actually want to like bounce this idea off of you too, and which is that, like, so as CCP has been focusing on things like faction warfare, like insurgencies, like all these other things, one of the things I've been hearing as a complaint is this idea of like sandbox versus theme park, and how CCP should not be doing these plot-based things because it should be about the players. My counterpoint to that is that, like, in a world in which there's nothing happening, then there is nothing to make a decision about, right? Like, if the Gallente invade the Caldari, then you can decide whether or not you want to aid the Caldari, you can aid the Gallente, you can ignore them both, you can profit from the situation, you know, you can go somewhere else and do something else if you want to. But without that thing happening, there is no choice to be made. And there is player stories, but what we saw was a lot of stagnation when we left it to exclusively that.
Yeah, there are theme parks within our sandbox. And those theme parks give rise to interesting locations, interesting stories, reasons to fight over a particular place.
And emerging gameplay opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then these themes support our drive and creative vision. I thought there was 4 pillars. Did I miss a pillar? Did they change a pillar? I should go back and check these things. These themes support and drive our creative vision, the ultimate science fiction experience, and with the focus on... Wait a minute. No. Alohn. I think these are subtly different. Because wasn't there one... I guess identity and agency was the emblems, or... what was the word for it that they called it?
Heraldry?
Heraldry, thank you.
Where is my upgrading ship skins? I need them now.
Well, you can get ship skins that do things when you get kill marks now.
You can?
Yeah. Yeah, the rabbit skin from last year's Lunar Festival shoots out fireworks for every kill mark you get based on the strength of the ship that you got, that you killed. And the newest ones that just came out, the ones that Tamber designed, with Steal the Future,
Yeah.
Empyrean Outlaws, I think it was. Those, when you get a kill, like has a blue flash over the skull.
Okay. But like, you remember they
I know.
showed the Rifter with
I know.
like, yeah.
No. You're absolutely right. Like cool like decorations that escalate. But also like, where's my snake hat? All right. Okay. Ultimate science fiction experience, and with those focus on conflict, identity, and community, the 2 expansions coming in 2024 will see a shift in focus towards null security space and increasing the rich opportunities presented to capsuleers there. In addition, we will expand the possibilities of personal expression with the advancement of the Skinner for ship customization, further strengthen player bonds through corporations and fleets, all while we continue to develop Vanguard in collaboration with you, the community.
Man, can I get like a fleet skin? Like if I do whatever achievement as an FC, as a leader of a fleet, then I should be able to apply a skin to my whole fleet.
Like uniforms? That'd
Yeah.
be kind of cool. I've said that like what I'd like to see is, you know, when they make custom skins, what I'd like to see is the ability to like pay an unreasonable amount of plex to basically get a skin BPO. Like you design the skin and then you get it and then you can run copies of it and hand it off to people as licenses or sell them or whatever.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
But now
too.
you're the producer of it. That way, like, and then the reason why I say like the amount of plex is because that way, if somebody does happen to make like a penis skin that's bad or something, and then all the CCP has to do is just remove that skin, and then everybody loses it, and you know, you're out plex. A recent survey also mentioned this being a thing. They said that they're adding that you can create and share skins, though. Yeah, they also showed it at FanFest, but we'll see. They, 2 FanFests ago, they talked about removing skill attributes. So, Pepper Charm.
Please.
I know, right? What the fuck happened to that? I feel bad because I just got reminded yesterday, or 2 days ago, or whatever it was, that there are people that took my advice. Because I was like, oh yeah, they mentioned it at FanFest. So if you respec now, surely you will. By the time you're ready, they'll you won't need to worry about it because it'll be done. And here it is, like at the end of the year, and he's finally able to respec away from whatever it is that he did because whatever. Either way, so let's look at what we got here. We got the summer expansion, Eve Vanguard playtests, Capsuleer Day, Havoc update. More Vanguard playtest, Alliance tournament, Winter Nexus, Crimson Harvest, more playtests, Winter expansion. So a couple things. First of all, we learned from last year, probably should not use the images that were there, because if you remember, the image for Viridian was originally like a stellar transmuter, and the image for Havoc was, the Empress and her fleet. So we were like, oh yeah, stellar transmuters are coming to Nolen Q2, and the Amar invading Stain in Q4. Easy peasy. No, so that didn't happen. So probably this the Sun and the fight here isn't necessarily something to read into. But one of the things I do notice is, like, check this out. Look, we got Shadow War, which was that live event, the direct enlistment, which is technically like you could put that as like an uprising development, right? And then New Year's celebration and Chinese localization. New Year's celebration, like that's a thing. Excel, 2 things for Excel. This is the Eve anniversary. There's FanFest, Alliance tournament, and then a second event, which they.
Here's a fun fact for you. Eve sponsored the Excel tournament this year.
I heard about that. Yeah. And then like we have this stuff here. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is if we look here, this is a lot less information, right? There's nothing about what's actually coming in the Havoc update on here. There's nothing about any more of these live events. No hide nor hair of a faction campaign, I think is what they call them. Only information. Hey, thanks, Casey. Only information that we pretty much already know.
It also seems very lean.
Yeah, it
Like
does.
if you look at the Eve Vanguard playtest and take those away, then what do you have remaining?
Winter expansion, summer expansion, the 3 events that we already know about, and the expansion that's already out in the Alliance tournament. That's it. Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. I don't know why. Because this was, I mean, this was a lot of information when they first came out with this, even though that they filled in the actual images. Like, I don't know, man. And the complete absence of faction campaigns and discussion of faction campaigns is pretty odd, too. In the lead up to the summer expansion, a new era will begin to unfold in New Eden, details of which will start to be revealed in-game shortly. Oh, well, I guess I could be wrong. Why didn't they just fucking put something here where it's like, oh yeah, new faction campaign or whatever? Maybe because that didn't really go over well, like the title. And if they want it to be associated with Null. The problem with the faction campaigns is everybody thinks that they are associated with faction warfare, even though they're not most of the time. What we can say is exciting new technology and resources will give the players opportunities to build and customize their space in nullsec, creating new conflict drivers and objectives. Bold and lucrative opportunities will arise for established corporations and alliances, but also for small opportunities that can attack vulnerable areas to gain resources. One thing is certain, the value of owning and defending space is set to rise. So this goes back to like what I've been theorizing about since they first started talking about this. Is like, so the example that I have is like, well, what if you could now construct a stellar transmuter in your system and it like increases the quality of the rats and the ore that's there, but like also makes it so that wormholes are spawning there more frequently or something like that. Like that,
and it'll never get used.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing is that like if that's just one option, it'll be interesting to see what sort of give and take could be used. Expansions are supposed to be major changes. You can't just list 2 whole expansions as summer, winter, and be like nothing is in it. Well, I'm not. I mean, like, they're not going to give us any information about those yet. I mean, just like when they first came out with the first image, there was nothing there. It was just summer expansion, winter expansion there too. My comment is about these extra things, like the Excel, the New Year's celebration. Like the New Year's celebration is now. It started in Raid. I don't know when the Chinese New Year's is. But like that is actually a really interesting question because the Chinese New Year skin from last year was so incredible, and this year's the Year of the Dragon. I kind of want to know what the Year of the Dragon skin would be, but I haven't heard hide nor hair of it. Hide nor dragon of it. Anyway, so it's also, yeah. What?
Something curious to me in like the last sentence is like, is there going to be opportunities for a fleet to yeet into Null and like PvE and get good resources? Like we have the ESS right now, but like are there going to be opportunities similar to that but different?
Yeah, well, one of the things I talked about like back in like 2020, like back when we were talking about Blackout and how to fix Null and all that kind of stuff. One of the things I pointed out is that, like, in my opinion, nullsec's like pirate setup is backwards, right? Like I think that the more you use a system, the more it should focus on like industrial bonuses. Because like if you have people there all the time and you're killing all the pirates, why would the pirates get stronger? Like the places where players aren't should be the places that become like nests that have to you have to go in and clear them out. So the best sites will be outside of your protected areas. But, what do I know?
Because that would be too hard to protect. And you got to keep the Ishtar safe.
Well, I think that, and that goes back to what I was saying, because one thing is the value of owning and defending space is about to rise. Like that idea of like the wormholes are there. If they did it the way that they do it right now, yeah, they'd be screwed. But if you actually like have a little bit of security in that system, if the rewards are good enough, then yeah, you're gonna set up the security and maximize it. It would only take. I mean, wormholers do this all the time, right? You just keep track of all of the signatures in the system, and keep an eye on the holes. It's nullsec, so you can bubble the holes. you know?
Yeah, but there's a reason nullsecers aren't wormholers.
Right, but that's the thing, is that like this gets you a little bit of an opportunity to, in your customizing of space, to like add a little bit of extra risk in order to add a little bit of extra reward. I also really want to
That's fair.
see, I've said since the beginning that I want like local to become more of a
Yeah,
system where you
delayed or
put down.
something.
Well,
Yeah.
I want local to be switched to being like constellation wide, and then give nullsec like the ability to put down observation posts that allow their security managers to kind of check the status of various different observation posts, so that way they actually have a real security network with real security personnel in order to make it happen, rather than using a chat client as your intel tool.
But it works so good.
This year we'll see a big leap forward for personal expression and identity. Okay, I'm gonna hold them to this one. Big leap forward. Because let me tell you, I have been very disappointed in heraldry so far.
Yeah.
Emblems, the Corp and Alliance logos, great, but the fact that it took them that long to roll it out and we've got nothing else since, not even a hint, is just unacceptable in my opinion. Like all this stuff about people being mad because Evermarks aren't worth getting. If you could give them anything to like let them bite onto the idea that they're actually going to want to have these things, that'd be awesome. And like the smallest emblems in the world doesn't count. Volumetric cloud tech to have 3D dragging around your ship. With the introduction of Skinner to the Viridian expansion, Capsuleers got the ability to customize upwell structures. The summer expansion will further extend Skinner's capabilities to ships. So there you go. We got something. We got something. The summer expansion, ship skin customization. We're taking Skinner to dizzying new heights with ship customization through the design of custom skins with an array of patterns, designs, and broad spectrum of colors. The creative options are vast, and Capsuleers will be able to design and manufacture skins to personalize their own ships and entire fleets. There you go. Or sell them to generate new income streams, further adding to individuality, identity, and agency in New Eden. Actually, I'm going to go one step further for you, and like I think that what I want a skin that players who are in my fleet can access.
Sure, yeah.
So when they join my fleet, they can now add that skin, and if they leave my fleet, they lose the skin.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
Home is where the Corp is, in the grand tapestry of New Eden, where the expansion... Also, that would make it so that like if fleets are flying together, you could actually visually tell the difference between the two. That'd be actually kind of cool. In the grand tapestry of New Eden, where the expansive space offers limitless possibilities, the concept of home holds a special place. Your home is the essence of belonging, collaboration, and collective achievements within the corporations that form your backbone of EVE Universe until they blow up. Corporation projects introduced in Viridian have played a crucial role in strengthening the bond between organizations and their members. At the helm of the corporation leaders and project managers, the visionaries and strategists who become architects of experience and will continue to expand the reward types in 2024 to further fit their needs and yours. It is absolutely embarrassing that they came out with the opportunity for faction warfare complexes, but not insurgency complexes during the insurgency expansion, right?
Oh, wow. I did not know that, but that's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, they're like, I was thinking about it, it's like, well, they asked us which additional things that we would like to track, and so we were like, faction warfare plexes, and so they added that, but we didn't ask for insurgency plexes. But of course we didn't. We didn't have fucking any idea that they were coming. In 2024, we'll expand the scope and impact corporation projects with exciting improvements, such as enabling corporations to create... Stop. To create freelance tasks for non-members, which will become an essential avenue for recruitment. That's actually a really cool idea. And give a way for Capsuleers to build their confidence or simply earn some ISK. Although there's a certain amount of that that's like, oh, I like it. I was about to say it's market with extra steps, but now it's like, so
Seems weird, but
well, yeah, but I could make a public task to kill rats in a specific high-sec system as a way of, like, incentivizing people to come here on mission. I don't know where my end game with that
Yeah,
is.
it seems weird.
But you could do it. This is I think this is like like
So
they're trying to
here,
make player-based missions, right?
can I make a public mission to kill people in high sec?
I would say that this feature is not complete if you cannot. Right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's pretty much it. That could be like a new.
I have
this
valid
is the new
reasons
bounty
why
system.
I want people. Yeah,
I'm giving a public offer, 1,000,000 ISK to anyone who kills these guys. Then they'll farm their own shit. I wonder, you'll have to blacklist who's eligible, right?
yeah.
You do not get to kill yourself. I don't know how, but
But I mean, they're always gonna find a different way.
right. But at least in that case, it's
Non-corp
players
dog.
versus that's player versus player emergent gameplay, as opposed to CCP trying to devise a system that can't be exploited by players.
Right.
We stand at the cusp of a thrilling new adventure with the introduction of EVE Vanguard, your first-person shooter module seamlessly integrated into the rich universe of EVE Online, once a month for 3 days. Our commitment to openly develop EVE Vanguard continues through 2024 with monthly playtests as part of the Founders Access for Omega players. These are crucial for our collaborative process of development, allowing for fine-tuned mechanics, balanced gameplay, and integrate your insights and feedback into the evolution of the new model. And that actually goes into this. No, that's actually yeah. So we have here in January, we've got bug fixes, balancing, launchers and installation fixes, server support for 2 new regions, tiered participation rewards, which means that we're actually going to get ship skins, like different ship skins depending on the how much or how successful you are in the EVE Vanguard playtest, and leaderboard awards. So like likely the participation reward, tiered reward, is like playing 1 game, get this one, playing 10 games, get this one, playing 50 games, get this one, or whatever. Whereas the leaderboard rewards, which is in Plex, will be like the top players, the top kills, the top, victory conditions, etc.
It'll be like the Abyssal Glory skins, but for Vanguard.
Right. Yeah. Didn't they give one? Did they give us something for Vanguard? Yeah, the pod. They gave us the pod skin. If dirt falls out of a shovel, the players will use it differently, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't have a shovel. Well, CCP is supposed to be giving us shovels and boots. That's what they always said, right? Shovels to make sandcastles and boots to kick them over. Any rate. February, bug fixes and balancing. So apparently not any of these. No. Tiered participation. So February, they don't really have much planned as like an addition. But then in March is a minor feature update. So mining prototype, additional contracts, suppression generation through Vanguard activity, bug fixes, and balancing. So that's worth noting. That means that in the January and February events, there won't be suppression to get. Like right now, based on what's going on, it actually generates corruption within those systems, a very minor amount, but a real amount. But there's no way for it to gain suppression, which is one of the reasons why, at least in the early days, like corruption was kind of gangbusters. But it honestly didn't matter much because it's like 4% of the total contribution for the systems that became corrupted. But also remember that they changed. We'll talk about it in this dev blog. But one of the things that they changed is now we're going to have to get an increasing number of systems corrupted to win, assuming that we're winning over and over again, which is going to make these insurgencies longer and also more spread out, which might affect how much these impact it. But by March, suppression will be generated. In addition, there's going to be like they're going to be start experimenting with the non-combat related focus of it, like the mining prototype where we get extracting resources, and everything else is the same. April, we've got everything's the same. May, the same. June, new map. So again, this kind of implies that we're going to have the same map all the way through June. So in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playtests are all going to be on the same map, which, I mean, fine, whatever. But like, here's what I gotta, here's my thing about that. And this is somewhat stupid, but hold on. They made a really big deal. They made a scope video, a brand new scope video in a new style that showed a lot about how the site that we were fighting at was this bowhead ambush. So here's my question. Are we going to be fighting over the same planet for the next 5 months? Like the same crashed landing site? Which, I mean, that, they could go with that. They could go with that, right? Theoretically. Because, I mean, you know, 5 months is not a lot of time to fight over territory in the grand scheme of things. But, or are they going to try to justify it and be like, no, this is a different crashed place in a different place. Which reminds me, I don't know if you noticed this, but they like, so in, when you go and drop in Vanguard, it said it was in Genesis. And it was saying that during all of the playtests up until that point. So it's just, it says that in the thing, even though it was in Heverus, which is not in Genesis. All right, I'm done being, I'm done being that kind of nerd. All right. Whoa. All right. Looking ahead to June, our founders will get hands-on with a new map, a weapon modification feature will be introduced, and fittings will be persistent across sessions. Add to this the evolution of our mining prototype coming initially in March, and all fans of FPS experiences within the EVE universe will want to keep their eyes out for Vanguard updates coming in spring, summer, and beyond. Oh god. Snooze going off talking about shovels. Farms and fields. You know, Jeff, I hate to break this to you, but like, as much as people like to shit on Fozzie, it's farms and fields. Like, they made the farms and fields and castle like mentality, pretty much nailed it. And the way that the Great War in 2020 or whatever went kind of demonstrated that, right? Because they sieged the capitals and they burned the land around it, you know, just like a marauding army invading a territory would. So, I guess ESS counts as farms and fields. I mean, kind of, I'm just saying, like, no one piece of the feature is what I'm going to call it, but like the result was the construction of basically what people were asking for when it came to farms and fields. Exciting adventures ahead. We are very excited for what 2024 holds. Each upcoming development represents a step forward in our continuous effort to make EVE Online a more immersive, engaging, and dynamic universe. From the depths of null security space to the front lines of planetary combat, every update and expansion is crafted with you in mind. Our roadmap is merely the beginning, and we have a stellar events coming this year, including Capsuleer Day, Crimson Harvest, Winter Nexus, and the biggest Alliance tournament yet. And there's a lot to be excited about. So that actually is the biggest thing that we got confirmed here, which is that it appears that we are just no longer going to have the hunt or Guardians Gala or am I missing which one? I'm sure I'm missing something. Yeah, the 4 Empire holidays. Is that all of them?
I don't know.
Either way, of the regular events, like those are just not going to happen anymore, which means, by the way, implants can no longer be removed from your pod ever once again, if this remains true. Because during the hunt, implants have a 50% chance of dropping in your pod, or on a pod kill. That is not going to be true, or like without a hunt, there's no that. There's also no really stellar source for geckos or Hava CVX or CVAs or whatever they call those, the drone damage amplifier / missile units. the what is from Guardians Gala provide? It's like angels and serpent stuff. I guess the the Eros implants. It might be impossibly difficult to get Eros implants after this. The web range bonus ones. It makes me sad too. It makes me wonder because like the problem with those are the events that CCP made be related to the events as they were unfolding, right? Because like the hunt became connected to S3 Hokusotsu, and the Guardian Gala was associated with Rafik Zohar and his hijacking of the Esperance, the Rock Wall. So like it could very well be that the team can't just turn them on in the same way because they're so tied to what they were then. But I think that to me the most disappointing one is Liberation Day, the Mimitar holiday, because like it's a competition. You choose which tribe you want to promote, and then you do tasks and you gain points for yourself, but you also gain points for your tribe, and the winning tribe gets the station named after them or whatever, right? Like a certain station in the caravanserai. So like Thucker won, and I guess they just get it now.
One forever.
Yeah, and that sucks. Also, like, that's where the tattoos came from, which are really cool. Like, of all of the holidays, the one I think that we lose the most from by losing it is the Mimitar event. The other weird thing is that means all of the events that used resource wars, like the mining sites, the mining blitz sites, those are all taken out as well, right? Because the Crimson Harvest and the Winter event don't use mining blitz sites. So even though Resource Wars was retooled in order to be brought back and was incredibly successful when it was brought back, now they're just not slated to be in the game anymore. So hopefully some of those fears won't be realized, but yeah, not great. No more racing around New Eden? Yeah. Wait. Did they not do a Grand Prix last year either?
They did, I think.
Nope. 2022. In 2023, they did Lunar New Year, Shadow War, Capsuleer Day, Crimson Harvest, and Winter Nexus. Although they didn't include Epiphany in here, but yeah. Because that wasn't like a full-on event. Wow, look at those. Look at the fall off. Right? Like, so then 2016, 2017, they barely did events because people, like, players, there's a lot of trepidation about doing like events as a regular thing. So we see like, this is like the second year of events and we get 4 of them. And that's as many events as we had last year. That's disappointing. Do we see anything else? Guardians Gala, The Hunt. Yeah, no, I guess that's it. Hopefully we'll see more come out of that, the live events team. And hopefully they'll be accessible to more people. Because, like, especially the last one was incredibly niche. But the last couple have been, well, even, like, Shadow War. Shadow War was all right. But, like, there was no way to be engaged with that in, like, a safe way. I'm not saying that you have to, but, like, the only way to engage with it was to get a suspect flag. Or do, like, industry and stuff. Most of that was in Pochfin. Sidewinder started during an event, the Halloween one in 2019. Crimson Harvest. Yeah, well, the Crimson Harvest at least stays. A new line of racing shuttles. That could be cool. All right. And the biggest Alliance tournament yet, so there's a lot to be excited about. Our focus remains steadfast on continuing to build on our core themes as we enter a new year. We will continue to work hard on bringing you stronger organizations, providing avenues for every pilot to express their identity and have agency in New Eden, all while furthering the future of war. We are dedicated to fostering an environment where every player, regardless of their role or allegiance, can find purpose and excitement in the vastness of space. We believe that there has never been a better time to play EVE Online, whether you're just starting out or returning after a hiatus or a seasoned veteran 20 years in, but we are just getting started. The best is yet to come, and the sky is not the limit, but merely the beginning. 07. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited about this year. Don't get me wrong. It might sound like I'm being naysaying. A lot of this stuff is stuff that I feel like those of us who have been paying attention either could have predicted or already knew. But I think that things are going really well. But you know, this does raise those questions that I have, obviously. But we're going to learn more about it over time, obviously, you know, like throughout the year. This is a pretty good January post, in my opinion. I will say that if you are returning to EVE, I do have a video, Returning to EVE, watch this first, that a lot of people have gotten a lot of value out of. I also have a ship fitting mastery guide and other stuff to help you out. If you haven't already, you can use the link down below to get yourself your 1,000,000 free SP. Doesn't matter if you're returning to the game. If you've never gotten 1,000,000 free SP on your account before, you can use my code. Or you know what? Hell, when you're popping over to Nth Dimensional's video, which you absolutely should pop over to Nth Dimensional's channel, consider using his link because he's a good dude too.
Hooray!
Hooray! Anything you got to comment about with this director's letter?
No. Good luck. I hope.
Good luck. What, to them?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just want them to, you know, do everything they promised.
Yeah, I think that, and that's a big thing, is that they
It'll be
feel like they're
interesting.
intentionally not promising a lot, not because they don't have a lot to promise, but because like they're being very careful about how they promise things. So they're promising like these broad chunks, and we'll probably learn more at, I almost said FanFest. There's no FanFest this year, is there?
I do hope that the nullsec expansions at least somewhat cater to nullsec, not null blocks or null alliances, but the system security itself.
Yes. And I think that
like freshen up NPC null areas or
right. And I think that that's even more important now than ever with this with the pirate insurgency stuff and all the pirate association. Like the fact that I, as you know, proud, you know, insurgent, cannot or like still become attacked by angels in nullsec
right
sucks, right? Especially since they attack me and I can't attack them because I risk losing standings that are very precious to me now. So yeah, like the development of NPC null is really important. Hey, thanks Ganai. But I think that there's a lot of promise for that because there's a lot of setup for that, right? I think that you know, they still have it set up where the Caldari and what they're doing in the Syndicate region is a really interesting ground for them to experiment with, as well as I keep saying, you know, when the Amar invade Stain, you know, we can see these NPCs interacting with each other potentially in a kind of an interesting way as they prove out these mechanics for nullsec sovereignty as well. NPC drone lands when? What? 2006? Right? Drone lands came out in 2006. You mean non-sovereignty drone lands? It would be interesting if there was like especially with their interaction with the Triglavians, that the rogue drones became cohesive enough for there to become an overmind that actually like owns a system as opposed to just being a background noise. CCP needs non-pirate PvE content for players to engage in if they're wanting to give players the ability to ally with the pirates. Yes and no. I wouldn't actually agree that they need to, because I think it's perfectly okay for being a pirate to be a mostly PvP activity. I'm not saying that you're wrong. And in fact, I think that that good PvE, I agree with you with the fact that it would be really, really good, or it should be that way. But if they wanted to go the route where it's like, this is mostly a PvP type thing, then that is fine. But I think that, to me, it's more that this exposed the problems that already existed with pirate PvE activities, right? Because like this was already a problem forever, where like people, I knew a guy who ran Sanchez missions all the time in Sanchez space, because he also hunted Sanchez space to kill people, like explorers and stuff. But you know, he would warp in on a ratter, and the rats would like turn on him, even though he's +8 with them because of all the missions that he's done. So, you know, this just more brought those problems to the forefront. But I think that this is also a great opportunity for CCP, as they, you know, they've been building this like new AI and these new systems, and they keep on saying like they want to go back and like revitalize the old stuff with the new stuff. And, you know, they just redid all of the career agents with the new systems. And even though they're basically the same career agents, they look different. They feel different. They have the full body avatars and all that kind of stuff. So in the same way, rather than like replacing all of the mission agents or mission rats with the new smarter rats, and therefore ruin mission running for a lot of mission runners, they could start with replacing the general rats in nullsec with the more realistic AI that they've been developing, right? If the nullsec rats were closer to like insurgency rats, or you know, the other rats that have come out since invasions, you know, NPC null and making those rats smarter is a really good step to like introduce these rats into like the long-term wild. I want a real PvE meta game where factions make moves based on players working with or against them. I agree, Aaron. I've always said that like what I want to see is a game of like the AI is playing a game of Stellaris, right? Where there's a different AI director for each of the empires, and they have goals, and they have missions, and they've got resources, and they've got, you know, things that they can do to achieve those goals, strategies and stuff. And then players are an intricate part in some or all of the things that those empires want to do. And based on players' engagement with the whole thing, kind of helps determine the tide and flow of battle. Now, some things are obviously bigger than us, right? These are empires going to war. Sometimes someone's just got to invade Intaki, and that's still bigger than any of the power that like any nullsec block, even a nullsec block, can muster. But you know, some forces are just too big, even for capsuleers in the universe. But if you want a sandbox where decisions matter, then having empires that are trying to do things is where you get that, right? Because then our actions help shape the flow of the universe through these bigger players. But if you made the Rats AI better, all the bots would have to be remade? Actually, no. Because you wouldn't even, like, to a VNI, or not a VNI, if to an Ishtar, like, so they can tune things like how aggressive the rats are against drones. so they could make it so that the new rats are effectively indistinguishable to the people in like a Ishtar. The only difference would be like you can newt them now, you could theoretically rep them now. They you know, you can be friendly with them and they might actually help you in a fight now, that kind of stuff. Like, you know, you jump through Nullsec, a gate, and there's like a pirate gate camp there. Like, especially back when they put the big camps on the gates. You jump through and there's like 50 fucking rats on the gate, including titans and things that are going to point you. You're like, ah. But let me tell you, I jump into a Triglavian system and I see a fleet full of blue on my grid. I'm like, ah, I'm at home. You know, like that's what I want to see. I want to be able to jump into an angel system and see my boys guarding me. I also want to see, like, what would be nice is that, like, once you've established, like, this idea of, like, the patrolling rats that you get in the insurgencies, wouldn't it be cool if even player empires could effectively hire their own passive defense systems? So that way they would also get rats that patrol and all that stuff that function on their sovereign alliance holding standings. As opposed to, you know, anything else. So that way those rats will attack the enemies of the empire and will defend enemies of the sovereign empire as well. That could be really cool.
Can I get a Sav upgrade that just puts a patrolling saber on my camp bubbles? My gate?
Yeah. I would like to purchase one saber mercenary. Yeah, you can go to the station and like hire a saber mercenary and like warp. Man, you could totally do that too, especially since like if it automatically added them like an AI actor into your fleet, then you could like warp him.
Any newt that jumps, just bubble.
Yeah, just bubble. That's pretty good. Definitely want to be able to hire rats. Would be a fantastic ISK sync. I agree. Yeah, it could be nice for mining, right? To like, I mean, obviously, if there's a big enough drop, then whatever. But like for just normal, like day-to-days, it could be cool. You fly up to the pirates and bribe. Yeah, I also, you know, one of the things I've also talked about quite a bit is the idea of like pirates. I want to see the pirates show off their individuality through their standings, right? Like maybe Serpentis stations you can dock at no matter what your standings are because they're very open port, whereas Sancha stations you can only dock at if you have like 7 or 8.0. And like if you're at 8.0 with the Garistas, you get access to their daily smuggler network, which are basically a bunch of stargates that other people don't get to see or access that move around every day like wormholes. Pirate response fleet shows up and holds your orca hostage until you can't or pay them. The mining site is actually really fun in insurgencies, I think. A lot of people like those. All right. Any other thoughts on this?
No thoughts, head empty.
Okay. Well, next we can look at the Founders Access Warclone Omega. The time approaches for Founders to go planet side once again for the First Strike playtest from 25th to 29th of January. This Founders Access to the First Strike January playtest gives you the chance to try out EVE Vanguard, the in-development FPS module in EVE Online, and contribute to its ongoing development. The only requirement to join the playtest is to have Omega access, and there has never been a better time to get the upgrade. Blah, blah, blah. New Eden Store are offering 14 days of Omega access for a limited time, giving anyone interested in jumping into EVE Vanguard the unmissable opportunity. From now until the 28th of January, so another 6 days as of this recording, you can upgrade with 14 days of Omega time for only $10 in the EVE Store or 250 plex in the NES. So don't miss this chance to get boots on the ground and try EVE Vanguard. Okay, so is this a spectacular deal? No. Actually, it's not a great deal because in theory, you would pay $20 for 30 days. Instead, you're paying $10 for 14 days. So you're actually getting 1 day less, or 500 plex. So you're getting 1 day less. But what's really happening here is this is just an opportunity to get, this gives you just enough time, just enough playtime to be eligible for the first strike playtest. So, although, why is it called the next first strike playtest? Shouldn't it be called the second strike? Anyway, I digress. The point is that, like, you need to have Omega in order to get involved with it. So they're giving you a package that allows you to get just enough Omega to be able to buy. Yeah, 2 days total if you bought 2, but you're only buying 1. So it's 1 day less.
My question is, why are they having you have Omega for this at all?
Because they don't want it to be like, it's already a shit show with the amount of people that are showing up, right? Like, the servers at some points were having some pretty strong struggles. So if it was totally free to play test, that would be a different kind of test. More subscribers is always good for the balance sheets. I mean, it's true. But I also think that, honestly, I think that the other reason why, I'll be honest with you, is that I think that Omega access, giving you access to Vanguard, is baked into it at this point.
Very possible.
Although I'm not sure, because even on the launcher you see Omega, or you can see Vanguard clones on your alpha access. But something tells me that they're using something about Omega access in their authentication. Because, you know, they even alluded to back when they rose the price that there's going to be new things that give you value to Omega access. And so it's like, oh, well, you get a second video game, basically. You know, that, and calling it like a module for EVE Online makes it sound like they're planning on making it just part of your Omega. I will say, because Fallen Phoenix says, I was really hoping my laptop could run EVE, that I could run Vanguard, but nope. The requirements for Vanguard are really, really high. I don't know if they're going to stay that high, but what I find actually kind of disappointing, and the complaint that I saw that I think is pretty valid, is the fact that, like, now you pretty much have to have Vanguard installed on your computer. So for a bunch of people, there's just a... What?
You don't have to have it installed.
Did they change that?
I guess, because you don't.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
What's the difference between Vanguard and Dust 514? Dust 514 is a, you know, the game modes that were there. You know, this is an extraction shooter with extra, you know, accoutrement. Hold on. Where would it be? Because people were complaining about the fact that they had like this multi-gig install.
Yeah, but you could either delete it or not have it in the first place.
People were saying that they were having it forced downloaded.
Well, okay, I guess here's the question. So I've installed Eve after the last Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
So where is it installed for you?
So in my Eve shared cache area, I have a thing for Eve Vanguard TQ, which is 13 gigs.
Is your shared cache in like your app data?
Wherever you put your Eve shared cache. Vanguard updates once you go into that. The people on the day of Vanguard were saying that they had to download Vanguard before they could play Eve again. Like, even if they don't play Vanguard.
I do believe that probably happened. But you can delete it.
If you have the new launcher and just click on the Vanguard icon, it immediately installs with no prompt. Ah. Well, either way, I think that with the requirements as high as they are, they should make sure that it doesn't greatly inconvenience people that can't access it anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is true, but I think this problem is resolved because I
Okay,
also
that's
just
good.
clicked on the Vanguard link and it asked me to install it, and it tells me it'll take up 30 gigs, and I can say install or cancel.
Okay. Well, that's good. Oh, shoot. The next event is in 2 days, 16 hours, 26 minutes, and 31 seconds, according to the launcher. Yeah. All right. And then, yeah, it's 250 plex on the NES. That's not what I was looking for. That's not what I was looking for.
But also, like, that brings up a question of, like, what is an acceptable thing to install to your computer that's part of a game that you may or may not use? Like, if I never do something in Eve, if I never go to an Abyss, why should I have the Abyss modules installed on my computer, right?
I mean, you're right, but I
And
would so
it's fine because sometimes it just is better to have everything installed.
that's true. But I would say that right now, PR is a big piece of it, and it's just like a problem that they don't need to have. And I think that it's a potentially valid concern, especially since like the thing is that the very people that can't play it, like, are also probably not going to have huge hard drives with extra space in order to like consume it. So
Yeah.
like you're just breaking some people's instances if you or like make it so they can't even install Eve anymore, which is super inconvenient if that's true. But I think it's more of the insult to injury thing, right? It's not
I
that
will admit it doesn't look good, right?
it's not that I choose not to play Abyss. It's like I literally can't play this thing, and you're making it be installed on my computer. You're forcing a game to be installed on my computer that I cannot play.
But there are people with shitty internet connections that can't play Abyss realistically.
Well, that's fair, but I think that's a little bit different than I feel like there's a distinction line that can be drawn between those two.
Honestly, I kind of do as well, but like, it's an argument at least.
Too bad, so sad. Upgrade your shit. Yeah, the developers of Starfield said that, and it didn't go great for them.
I mean, in a way, Eve has also said that, especially with like last year's visual updates. Like,
Well,
if
they
you want to view the
increased
inside of your station, then you need some good resources there.
That's fair, I guess. But they didn't literally say people need to upgrade their computers.
No, but they said it without saying it.
Yeah.
And they upgrade the DirectX thing. Come on.
That's good, though.
It is good, yeah, but it also, excludes some older things.
Hey, N.
Hi. We're live, you know that, right? It's okay. Uh-oh. I don't know if we scared her off. Oh, well. Hi, Danny.
Well,
All right. They only say that when Microsoft discontinues support. Well, again, like, so with DirectX 12 in particular, like, the absence of DirectX 12 was holding everything back, right? Like, we're all now going to have a better game because we let DirectX 10 go. Aw, Danny, we love you. All right. Good. Glad you're here. So we're going to talk about Insurgency's Intensify, the Havoc update. Ambitious Capsuleers. The Havoc expansion for EVE Online was introduced last November. It has been a big hit with Capsuleers, introducing the chance to align with pirates or fight against them in a gripping struggle between suppression and corruption. Nothing is static in New Eden, including Havoc. And the first update of the year is now live, bringing adjustments to pirate insurgencies, graphical updates, and certain NPCs respecting player alignment and more. So, among the things announced at stage on FanFest 2023 when the Havoc expansion was revealed was the inclusion of the Ambition modifier, which adjusts the number of points needed to win an insurgency. Really? Was that introduced in FanFest? I don't remember them talking about that at FanFest. They probably mentioned it offhand.
I think it was part of it.
The Ambition modifier has now been implemented into Havoc, which will affect the side that regularly wins insurgencies by requiring more system wins for subsequent victories. In effect, this means that the more victorious one side is, the more it will take to keep the winning streak going. This means the struggle between suppression and corruption more balanced, the fight more gripping, and the achievement of victory all the sweeter. So I gotta, this is the thing that I've probably heard the most negativity about, because a lot of people are just saying, like, this isn't going to solve the problem that CCP thinks it is, and it's probably going to be problematic in certain ways. The big concern here is that, like, this is supposed to, like, make things harder, potentially, for the insurgents if they're winning. But in essence, it gives the insurgents exactly what they want, which is a longer insurgency, right? If it takes more systems, it takes 9 systems, it's going to take an extra, half day to a day to take all the systems. Which means if you take a high-sec system on day 1, you now have enough time to wait out the timer, potentially, right? Like, if an insurgency gets long enough, we actually start running into a problem where high-sec systems that become low-sec, or, whatever, that become outlawed, can now have their structures completely destroyed before they're uncorrupted. Now, is that something that they are willing to let happen? We'll see. But there's the idea of, like, already insurgents are kind of actively trying to not complete the insurgency too quickly as a way of giving them more time to raid and pillage and do sites and everything. What do you think, Nth?
I think you're exactly right. It's good to have basically a completed insurgency, but to have it last longer.
Yeah.
Because just the benefits that you get for having those higher corrupted systems is just good.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. They've tweaked with it in other ways too. The one thing about this that I like, though, is that this kind of is an example of CCP's modern design philosophy, which is that rather than trying to guess where the equilibrium point is going to be, they create a system that dynamically adjusts to seek equilibrium, right? Like, they don't know how much of an advantage they need to give. They keep giving advantage after advantage to the empires against the pirates. But the problem is that it's a fine line. And as soon as you flip over to the other side, the pirates could just collapse, right? Because, like, the only reason why they're able to do it is because of the critical mass or whatever, right? So, like, there's a risk of, like, any static adjustment breaking the system completely. So instead, they create a dynamic system, so that way, if it gets pushed too far, it'll pull itself back.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a game decision concept.
But I also think it's a diagnostic tool, right? They don't know where the balance is. They thought the pirates were going to have the biggest problem. Clearly, that's not true. So,
I don't know why they thought that.
well, they thought that the pirates were going to be just coalescing at the very beginning with but the Empire faction warfare groups have been fighting
But
for 11 years.
it's new toy syndrome. It's a whole friggin' expansion. Of course,
It's
everyone's
true.
gonna choose the new thing.
They also didn't give like a new reward to the empires. I also, the one thing, if I could change anything in insurgencies, I want to know what yours would be. So you think about it. But
I know.
the one thing I would change is I want different and better victory rewards. I want outfits. I want titles. I want medals. I want things that are the reason why you fight or you win or whatever this time versus in a different time. Because I will admit to it, one of the reasons why I haven't done that many insurgencies recently is because like I'll look and I'll be like, oh, it's day 3 or 4. Like most of the things are all like at null second by now and bubbled, and I'll just catch it on the next one. And if you don't catch it on day 1 or day 2, then it's like you feel like then you're out of place, and it's too easy to kind of miss the boat if you're not motivated enough to make sure that you're on it every single time. So I want to see like actual victory rewards that encompass the whole the event holistically. What about you?
I want my home base to be that. And this is 2 parts. I want
what?
like my home base, my pirate lifestyle to be better. And so it is the FOB that you make. I need them to have it not go to asset safety. I need to have access to those things after it disappears, and have it come back to the FOB when it reappears. And I need Zarzak to be like an actual livable home, not the hellscape that it is.
So no bubbles in Zarzak. Actually, I've talked about both of these things, and yeah, I actually strongly agree. So no bubbles in Zarzak, and what I have actually like the softest version, if you must have an asset safety, what they should do is they should have it be an automatic asset safety to Zarzak.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Right. And that's what everybody has said that I've talked
And then I can easily redeploy to the new FOB and, be hunky-dory. But like the fact that people are like basing in like Egglehorn or whatever, or any other system that's not Zarzak, not the FOB, is like, what the hell?
For the record, when I talk about like a reward, one of the things I'd like to see is maybe if the insurgents win, based on your participation, you get deathless standing, right? Like some extra thing that makes you want to keep running those and winning unique insurgencies. That's what I need.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of those are really, really good. Bubbles in Zarzak is just an embarrassment. All right. Capsuleers now have an improved oversight when it comes to the status of the systems, as a filter can be applied to the new and classic star maps to view corruption and suppression in insurgency systems. Additionally, the pirate fob in the main insurgency system is now visually displays at the level of corruption or suppression, as well as the current ambition modifier level, making it a lot easier to see the system status at a glance. Also, Stargates in selected stations in corrupted systems now fly pirate banners, giving a better feel for pirate-affected space by setting the tone immediately upon entry. All of this combines to bring added quality of life to pilots involved in the struggle between pirates and militias, help Capsuleers strategize more effectively, and add more immersion to the affected systems. Yeah, there you go. Which actually, this reminds me, one of the things I really find interesting about this picture here, because this is like one of the main, this isn't the main Havoc image, is it? Hold on. Uh, 2023 October? November? No. There's no things behind him. Damn it. I'm going to tinfoil anyways. So my question for this picture Ah, my tinfoil falls apart real quick. But why use an Amar Stargate here, right? Like, you've got the fob. Why wouldn't you use a Zarzak Stargate? What does this mean? Are the Amar about to do something? All right. It has been a wild time in New Eden, and Havoc continues. Capsuleers keep spreading chaos throughout the cluster and altering the shape of space. Omega players will get another chance to try out the early version of Vanguard every month for the only until all right. That is all of the news for today. We finally caught up, I think. Wait, patch notes. Did we get patch notes? Anything else in here? What the hell is a police bob train? Also, I love how they renamed pirate fobs into strongholds, and then they still refer to it a fob in the patch note. I assume... Wait. I assume that this is talking about strongholds, but now I'm not sure. Can you get the new pirate ships from Navy LP or only pirate LP? It is true that, like, the Navy's provided no new real benefit to go with all the LP. I have a crazy theory. I have a crazy suggestion. Okay? You ready? This is how to fix faction warfare. It's dangerous. I actually don't know whether or not this works. But I still think that they might want to think about it. Which is... So... Amar loyalty token, Caldari loyalty token, Gallente loyalty token, and Mimitar loyalty token. I would like to see these purchasable on the LP store for about 900 ISK per LP.
What are those things?
So these are used in things like the events and other stuff like that. Actually, if you go and kill like the NPCs for the empires in the invasions and then go turn it in at their bases, you get boxes with these things in it too. But these are commodities.
Right, yeah.
Like anytime the empires are needing something from you now, they give these out, and they're commodities that just get bought up by a bunch of their options. Hold on. Yeah, see? So they're 100,000 ISK each. So if you made them, what, 9,000 or 900? I don't know the actual number of LP, then people would be able to cash out their LP by buying a bunch of these and then selling them on the commodities. So that way they would have a less efficient, but just like, because that's the big problem right now in faction warfare, is how troublesome LP is to actually cash out in any meaningful way, right? You could also make it so you could turn these in for like standings or whatever, but at the very least, like, this would be the easiest solution. If they just added these onto the LP store at a specific value, it would allow players to just cash out their LP. Now, that would be... The reason why that's problematic is because there is a lot of LP that is frozen on a lot of different characters. I've got millions of Federation Navy LP at the moment because it's difficult to unlock. So this would see a big influx of ISK flow. Hey, Vicky. And that's why I'd be concerned about it. But, like, assuming that concern isn't a problem, I think that this would be a great idea. What is my take on seagulling? I always see people complaining about it on the forums, but they say it's bots. I think it's just multi-boxing seagulls. Okay. First of all, people use the term bot, like, people derogatorily call people bots, like, way too quickly in this game. I don't think they're bots. I think that they're just normal multi-boxers, right? Here's my evidence, okay? If they were bots, they wouldn't need to be Tristans and Algoses. Also, the bots just used coercers before. It'd be nice if it weren't an ISK faucet, though. I mean, I agree. That's why I was saying, like, it should be low enough that it is a bad option, right? It also creates a floor, you know, if you can just cash out your LP at 900 ISK per LP, then that means that the lowest you should sell items for is 1,000 ISK per LP, right? Because one of the other problems that we're running into is that, like, there's so much LP flowing around that there's always going to be somebody who's willing to undervalue their work. So things start to sell for less than even 1,000 ISK per LP for, like, normal Federation Navy or normal Empire Navy stuff, because people are willing to sell it for that much. Because they need to burn their LP. Yeah, I don't know about the whole ISK faucet thing, because, you know, there's obviously a delicate balance there. Just have more Navy Cap Super BPCs. Yeah, but are they really an adequate solution for the average player to cash out their LP? Like, does it actually help the situation? I don't know. What if you could just trade the LP directly? What do you mean? Trade the LP directly for what? For ISK? Because, like, so, yeah, that would be fine. The reason why I brought this idea up is because this would literally, this would not require any dev work, right? I can tell you for a fact, I mean, maybe not for a fact or whatever, but, like, it shouldn't be hard to put a new item on the LP store. And assuming that that's true, then you just do that. Whereas if they made it so that you could cash out LP for directly for ISK, that's a whole nother thing with new interface, new buttons, new whatever. Like, this would just be a way to introduce that by just putting something new on the LP store. Require faction juice and more items and a lot more of it. Yeah, that's the other thing I think that they should do is, now that the doodads for the empires are available in the LP store, I think that they should add the requirement for the doodads back to the Empire subcapital ships. But, like, what else could they do? The exploration doodads.
Yeah, what about them?
You can now get them from the LP stores.
You can what?
Yeah, the Empire faction LP stores have their respective faction doodad there. Not the
For
gas,
how
obviously,
much?
but
Wait, the conduit, right?
yeah.
How much does it cost?
I don't know. Let me go look it up. If I go to fuzzworks.co.uk/LP store, just in case people don't know about it.
So, like, I industry these things and sell them, so I'm very curious.
Yeah, hold on. So the composite molecular condenser for the MR is 500,000 ISK and 600 LP.
Okay, condenser, the jar of piss, the jug.
Yes.
Not the conduit.
Is the conduit made from the gas?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
So-
not the gas stuff. The exploration stuff.
Because you take your jug and
Yeah.
with gas and you make it into the conduit. Okay,
Correct.
cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool.
okay, yeah. Totally. Just the exploration piece of it.
That I also hate that. Because high-sec exploration was nice because you could get those things in high-sec data cans.
from my
But-
understanding, it has not affected the market in a terribly significant way.
I think it has. They're all like 1 million now.
Maybe. That's fair. But still, like, 1 million ISK a unit is pretty good for high-sec exploration stuff. But, let's think. Hold on. So if I look up the Gila blueprint. Yeah. It's not just for caps, it's for pirate ships too. But these doodads used to be required for empire ships as well, right? So like a
For just the navies and capitals.
yeah. So a V and I would require 4 SR trigger Neuralink conduits in order to build it. But they
Right, I
removed all
believe
of
so.
those.
Did they?
But yeah. Oh yeah, none of the empire ships hold on.
Why don't you look up a V&I? Yeah.
Yep. No empire doodad. All it takes is the normal R4 doodads.
Okay.
Yep, they removed them all. So the thing, and that was a while ago.
What
so
about
like,
for capitals?
oh, capitals. Yeah, this is only subcaps.
Capitals still take it? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think battleships and above actually. But the point is that now that they have made those doodads more available, they could potentially fold that back into here, so that way they're needed more. Right. The problem there is the gas is so valuable right now. Like the gas huffing is like such a big deal in this whole component. It would only put more strain on the gas. They could theoretically reduce the amount of gas that's required per unit to allow them to make more units for the same amount of gas. But I also think it'd be kind of fun to just let gas become a major bottleneck. Yeah, it'd make the chips more valuable again. That's true.
Chips are already quite valuable, and they're like a significant cost of like a pirate ship. So I
Yeah.
don't know if they need to make them more expensive by making them more needed.
Yeah, because it would make pirate ships more expensive too because of the doodad. It would make
Yeah.
all of those ships that require the doodads more expensive. Yeah, it depends on. I mean, obviously these are all numbers that could just be balanced against each other or whatever, if need be. But yeah, I overall I do feel like it was really odd that Havoc didn't add any new thing for faction warfare pilots to do. The one thing it did offer, which I think a lot of people don't think about enough, is the fact that one of the biggest complaints I get from people when it came to the Uprising expansion and its change to faction warfare was just how damn rare advanced sites were, right? Now, they fixed some bugs that made it so that advanced sites weren't spawning correctly, and so they are spawning much more than they were before. But it is true that, like, you know, a lot of this stuff relies on Navy stuff, which means if you're not in the meta is to use a Navy ship, because if I bring an interceptor, I can only go into advanced sites, but if I bring a Tristan, then I can go into all of them, right? So the pirate sites are all advanced. So you, as a faction warfare pilot, can now reliably roll around in your T2 ship, your hack or assault frigate or whatever you want, knowing that there will be a continuous source of sites for you to run, because there are just, if you want to just do advanced sites, you can always go to that area of the war zone and you'll have both kinds of sites for you to run. Create the small structures, make them LP rewards easy. I do like the idea of them introducing Empire fobs as a way, like, that have to be bought through LP. Oh! What if they made it so that, like, you can get quantum cores with LP? No, you can just sell those to sell orders too. Have the same problems. Or buy orders, rather. Yeah, but I still think that, like, what I would like to see is more incalculable rewards. things that don't just get converted directly to ISK. Things like titles and uniforms and blah, 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 right? Heraldry, right? Why aren't we getting special heraldry? We should get every insurgency you take part in that wins, you should rank up in your heraldry, right?
Yeah. Well, you have like a title. They have a thing like that. It just
right,
I
but
don't think it does
that's based
anything.
on standings. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same as empires. All militias have ranks that is based on your standings with that militia group, rounded to the nearest 1.0 before before modification. And so that's why, like, every time you cross one of those thresholds, you get a promotion, which gives you a big faction boost for that faction. That's why you get, like, the little bit of standings you get for every single plex you finish. Those build up to get you those promotions.
So there should be a skin, a heraldry skin, that, yeah, for every insurgency you take part in, or for every threshold, you get an upgrade, and it looks cooler and cooler.
Also, actually, that's a really good point. The standings gains in these sites are actually relatively low. I would love to see just a big standings boost with the Malachim Zealots when we win, right? So that way I get a promotion. That way I get angel standings. Like, that would be really good too. No missions for pirates, so the standings are tougher to get since you actually have to do stuff. What? There are missions for pirates. My God. All right, well. The question now is, should I try to do the Kato Ash thing? Or should we just hang out? They mean no Malachim Zealot missions? Oh. Yeah, that's true. As a bot myself, I can confirm I am no longer flying Tristans or Algoses. Yeah, I agree. Like, the fact that you should be able to have faction heraldry where you put up your rank. Yeet Kato into faction warfare. Tell you what. I'm going to go put up a poll on my YouTube channel, or YouTube right now. Because I said I was going to do this last time and I didn't. Because I am bad. I don't know what else to say. Where's my, like, there's like a community thing, right? Chat with no, that's not it. No. Oh, there it is. So gas huffing is overtaken by quite a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Gas huffing or yeet next or Kato. I said I was going to do this last time. Didn't. Got cut into everything else. So yeet gas. Post. All right, so there's a new poll up on the community page or tab for my YouTube channel that'll allow you to select whether or not we do yeet or gas tomorrow. If I don't do Pal World, I might do Pal World now. Oh. Wait. What if there's a roaming NPC capital and if you killed it, you get big standings increases, more or less a field boss from other games? I mean, that is sort of already the case. Because you know, the big bad rat will have a high bounty, which means it gains a high standing things. Like if you go to Pochvin and you kill like the big Tyrannos, Stratego Tyrannos, you get a huge standing increase. But if you kill like some rogue drone, then you get a tiny increase. I used the Malcolm Zealot Corp thingy, but they won't let me use the Alliance one to display Angel Cartel. Yeah, because that's not the Alliance, that's the faction. I suppose it's kind of what officers are, but there's nothing in faction warfare like that. Well, there is. So they've introduced the new roaming packs that show up in the sites or in the systems that become invaded or insurgent, outlawed, whatever, or suppressed. Yes, all of the Empire factions have missions that get you standings. But I don't like Empire or faction warfare missions, so I'm not going to advocate them coming to faction war or to pirates. I'd rather just also like on my off time go to Curse and run missions there. But I also want to be friendly with the rats there. I want to feel like I'm going home when I go to Curse. Lawless, dangerous, still has bubbles, but home, you know? What do you... Oh, that's actually an interesting question, because you like industry and stuff like that, too. What do you think about the bonuses of Zarzak for construction?
I think they're shite. Sadly, they're just not enough.
Okay, but what do you think about the idea?
I really like the idea.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Although I think that I mean, like, if everything else was equal, it'd be fine. But, like, it's not enough for how hard it is to logistically support Zarzak, that's for sure. Not a big enough of a gain for everything that you lose from trying to do stuff in Zarzak.
And it's like, so most of it is like the big bonuses are like time efficiency, right? Like you can make things really quick. But the things that you're making that you get those bonuses on aren't long time thing. So
and
like,
also,
it doesn't matter.
Even the material efficiency, like we were talking about this when it first came out, like the material efficiency one is so minor that like the thing that makes those things cost the most doesn't change.
Right, yeah.
If they let you react in the fulcrum, it'd be 10 of 10. Ooh, yeah.
They don't let you react in the fulcrum?
No NPC station.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Why would I ever do anything there? So like those shifts that you want to make there, that you get your bonuses
you got to import
for, you have to react. So you have to find somewhere else to react? What the hell?
Yep. And then bring in the doodads. So that said, I will say I've been living in Turner a little bit recently and staging out of there. And it is super handy to basically like, I got potted, I wake up, I grab my ship, I warp to the Zarzak gate, jump through, warp to the Shipcaster gate, jump through, and I'm back in the action. Wherever that happens to be. It'd be nice if I didn't have to start in Turner and instead Zarzak was like functional enough, but we can't have nice things because nullsec exists.
Guess so. And like the fact that even if you're like a pirate, there's no safe way into Zarzak. You can never get your goods in there. You can never like, enough people can't do that to make an actual market.
It's not that hard to get your stuff into Zarzak, actually. The absence of freighters and jump freighters are the biggest concern. Because like all of the haulers can have interdiction nullification.
Yeah, but like, you got to get to Turner. It's just too much of a headache.
Michael Kelly, I have a video called Returning to Eve. Watch this first. That is going to be great for you. Curse feels like mildly dangerous, but basically friendly space, though. I'm sure that locals would take notice. You put up a refinery randomly, though. I mean, that's true, but like, look, there's something psychological about jumping through and seeing the guys on gate are blue to you, right? So that's what I meant more than anything is, I want to jump through and see the little angels on the gate be blue to me. It's stupid. All right. If I knew you were going to be on this whole time, I should have put your text name up there and everything.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh, well. I will say that, make sure to go to his place. In fact, I'm going to right now, while I'm here, oh man, you were gone, so I moved you to the second page of my featured channels. I'm gonna have to bump you back up.
Oh shit. Gotta bump me up.
But in the meantime, what I'll do is edit the description of this video. So that way the top link in the description is going to be Nth tips.
What is very interesting is that like the metrics on my latest video are very good. And I don't know if YouTube is like, oh hey, we should reward this guy because he's made a new video in a long time, or if it's just like a really good video.
I mean, it is a good, what is it? Curiosity gap. You really hit the curiosity gap on this one.
Yeah. But then I keep him intrigued.
It's true. It's not clickbait. Boom. I think that's done. Seems right-ish. Angels don't send you after themselves. They can always flip aggro if you shoot, though. Yeah. How'd that work for angels? Run a mission and the NPCs are blue to you? Well, yeah. Why not? Just give them the same logic as Triglavian. So, like, the way it works is that if you violate your position with the Triglavians, they remember that for, like, 15 minutes, right? So if I, as a Triglavian pilot, shoot a Triglavian, the Triglavians will attack me for the next 15 minutes or so. But like basically, it gives me an invisible timer. So you could just do the same thing, where it's like, and I wouldn't even mind that, because then if I warp into a mission, and I see all the rats are blue, I can be like, oh, oops, I should go. Yay, Sidewinder sub to Nth. Make sure to follow his example. All right. Is there anything else we want to cover today? Do you want to talk about anything while we got you here? Okay, then. It would also let you hunt players running missions and not get shot by the angel NPCs? Yes, Jeff. Exactly. In fact, I have gone so far as to say, if you get high enough standings with them, like if I'm 8.0 with angels and I'm in the angel space, I want to get a distress signal. I want to get like, this signature's haven is under attack by this ship using this weapon system. Like, I want to be able to be summoned to somewhere. But, you know, that's just me.
You can have a chat channel, and the Haven's just like www.
Yeah. That'd be awesome, even as a router. Yeah. I also think that, like, so I've suggested before that the sites themselves, so like right now, when you go to Nullsec, you grind that system to raise your level to get the better sites. So the more sites that you do in that collective area, that's how you get the stronger stuff. That gives the bigger challenges and the biggest rewards, right? What I'd like to see is that response, difficulty, etc., and rewards is tied to your standings with that empire. Because as you attack them, your standings go down, right? So a Sanchez Nation patrol, like defense fleet, probably aren't going to send the same forces for some dude that's the first time that they've ever seen them versus the guy who's at 9.9 like most wanted list for the for the nation or something like that, right? So I'd like to see it where the way that you get better ratting is actually by ratting yourself, getting your standings to go down, which gives you better responses, which gives you more rewards, but also more likely that people with positive standings get called in to help kill you. That's what I want to see. I also want to see LP stores give out skins that require standings to get. I know that that's not possible in the LP store right now, but I mean, they've been making changes, right? Like, I've said this before. I want to, like, get grind on Carthium and get all the way up to, like, 8 or 9 with them. And so that way I can buy Sorum skins. And then I can turn around and sell those on the market. So now I am a distributor of Sorum skins. Therefore, my LP is worth more because my standings allows me to buy things that are more niche, that less people have access to. I've actually gone through the effort to get my standings with this particular corporation high enough that I can purchase those skins and become the provider of those skins for the market. Not everybody can do that.
Kind of reminds me of like old-timey WoW, when you had to like get all your rep up with one particular thing and get like a mount or something.
Yeah, kind of. I feel like if you're going to have rep grinds, you should have things like that. You know?
Yeah.
Both for positive and for negative. All right. I think I'm going to call that good for today, unless anybody has something to jump in on. Or if you guys want to see Pal World right now, I could jump over to that. But otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. So I'm going to do my closing. And assuming that we don't want to do Pal World, I will actually wrap it up. So if you are watching this on the YouTubes afterwards, thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe before you do. If you are watching this live, wait, I guess, why did I even make a distinction? If you're watching this, thank you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It does mean a lot. Make sure to go over and check out Nth Dimensional's channel. He was very kind to come in here and hang out for the day and give his thoughts. And we've got a lot more coming this week and on the channel. So make sure to check to be subscribed so that way you get all of that as quick as possible. And I would also like to thank my top supporters: Abyssus, Aikawarazu Chan, Arkas Ilring, Belligerent Neckbeard, Black Rose Noble, Drake, Federation Frontline, Ganai, J. Kuhn, Lumi, Midnight Space Monkey, Milk, Not Just Fun, Punchinello, Seats Aplenty, Strenolin with No Eyes, Sho'Danar, Syliana Vel'ash, Tgen Tgen, Nephilim, Grendel, V-Rod Cruiser, Yantey Lepouf, Zaul Nex, Zero, as well as my Immortal Tier supporters: 745 MPSI, Aerodenica the Queen, Ebo Leet, Erlidus, Elange, May, Malik Starfire, Mercuton, Nihilum, LM1, Sheesh, and Rid. Thank you guys so much. And of course, if you are a supporter, make sure hit me up if you aren't on these lists so that way I can get you on it. If you're not, if you want to get on the list, then you can become a member for just $1 to get all the emotes and all that stuff. But if you want me to shout you out, you got to get like a $10 tier, or either here on Patreon. I think, I don't know. I don't even know my own systems. Anyway, but you do get access to the supporter-only channel in Discord, which if you are there or if you are a supporter, please be checking that out because I'm going to be talking with you guys to see what kind of stuff, extra stuff I can do for you to make that more valuable to you, because that's what I want people to be happy with the support, because I'm very, very thankful for it. But with all that said, I've been Ashtarothi. Thank you so much, Nth, for being here.
Pleasure.
And until next time, I'll see you in space. All right. So that's the recording closing. Let's see what's going on. There's a significant downside to aligning wholeheartedly with one faction. It should be balanced with perks. It's true. There's honestly not enough perks for gaining there's not enough perks for the things that provide consequences, right? I said this back in Invasions, that, like, you know, if Zoria is going to expect us to like shit on humanity, basically turn our backs on you know, the empires, they need to give us a legitimate option. And I've always felt that, like, the Pochfin stations should have services that are that get better based on standings, to the point where people with top standings, it's the same as using like a player structure or something. Because again, just like Zarzak, we run into this problem where it's like they clearly want players to live out of an NPC station, but why would you? Right? So, I don't know. That's what I meant kind of when it came to stuff with stations earlier. Like, I want to see, I'd really like to see that if you get 8.0 with a different, with a specific corporation, you get effectively the same, like, parameters for utilities as you would inside of a player structure. So that way people can grind NPC standings as a way of kind of replacing the fact that they need a structure. Anyway, all right. But that should be about it for the show. I've closed it now a couple times, so I'm just going to head out. I've been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space.
Bring on the every city